Whiskey is expensive. There is no question about it. It is a luxury that you, me, and us wonderful whiskey folk enjoy. But with everything going up, is it something we're able to enjoy for much longer? So I'm going to take a step back, look how much money I've spent, have a little cry, and do the video that you've wanted to see me do the most.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
Welcome back to Jeff Whisky. I'm Jeff, this is Whisky, let's crack on. Jeff Whisky. So in total honesty, this video is a complete rip-off of Stuart, Whiskey Wim's video, who released his running through of what he bought in 2023 and what damage that done to his wallet. So once you've watched this video 3, maybe 4 times, you've liked, you subscribed and you've commented, make sure to go check out his. I'll link down below and all that bubbly bap. Watching it, it generally was like a riveting behind the scenes look at being a whiskey enthusiast, which really made me think of 2 things. 1, am I spending too much on whiskey? And 2, I want to be as transparent with you all about being a whiskey fan. In a wash of Instagram posts of closed whiskey bottles, I think it's great to kind of represent what it's like to be a true whiskey enthusiast. Unless you're any of my family members. Look away now. Go on. Now, I don't think it's a surprise to anyone that I'm like super frugal and tight with my money. Unfortunately, I keep many spreadsheets of all things financial, which made the prep work for this video surprisingly easy.
I was no fun at parties.
In general, where possible, nothing is ever bought at full price. Like, look at my shirts, for some reason they're always reduced. That same mentality crosses into whiskey. However, somehow 2023 was my biggest expense on whiskey by quite a bit. Again, to my wife, please stop watching.
Don't look at me! Don't look at me!
I've only got a short gap to film, so I didn't prepare to get the bottles out ready, but I'll try to use that beautiful editing skills to bring them over. Right, starting off with 2 bottles I bought at the same time, Laphroaig Law and Laphroaig 10 Sherry Oak. Yes, this is my second bottle of Laphroaig 10 Sherry Oak. It's ready to replace my former Whiskey of the Year bottle, which is down to its last drops now. And finally, I was able to cross Laphroaig Law off my list. A Whiskey Bond on Instagram hit me up and let me know that Whiskey Merchant had a sale on all things Laphroaig, which you could then kind of like double up with their monthly discount code. So it brought the £70 for the Law and the £60 for the 10 year down to a total of £97.58. That roughly averages to £48 each. Then came my Whiskey of the Year, which you can watch by clicking the box up there. Spoiler alert, the Boutique Millstone 4-year-old via the Pour and Sip Club. So it was a sample in my subscription service, which I sadly did have to cut out at the start of that year. Fortunately, I still had a £15 voucher from their reward platform to use, which brought the $39.95 offer price down to a very bargainous $24.95. So for the 3 bottles, almost half of all the bottles I bought last year, the total is sat at a near eye-watering £122.53.
We've only just begun to live.
Then came along 2 other bottles. 2 that I've not even opened yet. You may have heard of this little channel called Aquavitae, run by some like Rob bloke, Rory. It's a small thing.
Never heard of him.
All jokes aside, Roy has done so much for the whiskey community and really is a good egg. He released 2 bottles of Ardnamurchan last year, which are sister casks aged in former Scotch barrels. There's this whole backstory. While on paper they're both refill barrels, you can see that the whiskey is different to show more they may be twins, but they're not identical. And these were not cheap. I planned on grabbing 1, however my wife pretty much twisted my arm and demanded I got both, for the sole reason because of that little fly on the label. I drew that fly. So as you may know, Roy has his bar flies and his icon was pretty low resolution and needed redrawing and vectorizing. He reached out to me, I was happy to do it. I also edged the fly and the glass a little bit to make it seem a little bit less janky and a bit slicker. So when I say I drew that, it's very much a stretch. I just kind of redrew it in a vector format. But this is possibly the only time something I have done is on a bottle. I do plan to open them, but they're at the back of a pretty long queue. But to what the people care about, what did I pay? These were expensive, well above my former highest whiskey purchase, with both being £89 from Royal Malt Whisky. So that was £178 for just 2 bottles. Special and sentimental to me, but yeah, very pricey. So we're now coming in with a total so far at £300 and 53p, which has crossed the line of most money spent on whiskey in a year for me. Yet here I am, with 3 more bottles to go, and all 3 are from Amazon. Yes, I brought from the Bezos baddie, but I just couldn't argue with the prices. First was the Penderyn Portwood. It is a bottle I've had my eye on since trying it back in 2021, and it's done one of those silly price drops and was sat waiting for me at £35 and 10p. It also happened that on the same day, Lefroy Quarter Cask dropped to £32, so both was added into my basket. Now normally I sit on a basket for a few hours and debate it if it's needed, which leads me to abandoning it until the price jumps back up, and then I'm just left with like a big taste of regret. However, in truth, I just received a payout from Amazon and their affiliate program of £43.30. So this is money that Amazon kicks back when people order things via the links. I keep like Amazon affiliate links down below, and it costs nothing extra to the buyer, but it's just a way for me to get a bit of money off Bezos.
Tell us why, show us how. Look at where you came from, look at you now.
Us Jeffs have got to stick together.
Come on, Jeff, get him!
So that made it very easy to complete the checkout when it came to £23.80 for the 2 bottles. Now it's up to you if you feel that using that Amazon credit should count, but in my maths it certainly does.
I suggest you don't worry about this sort of thing and just enjoy yourself. That goes for you all, too. Yes.
But that was me done for the year. I was happy with 6 bottles of 2023 coming in at a jaw-dropping £324.33. But then you wonderful whiskey folk, you got my small channel over the monetization threshold last year. So in the summer I crossed over both 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 viewing hours, meaning I was able to become a YouTube partner. Then thanks to you, people becoming Bottle Slap members, donating super chats, watching, subscribing, I knew I wanted to use the first money from being an actual whiskey tuber to go towards a bottle, and a bottle that I've had my eye on. And that is the amazing Lecheg 18, which dropped down to £72.85. So I was more than happy to pay the difference for a true celebration bottle. So for my biggest whiskey purchase year, 7 bottles, my total spend comes out at £397.18p. So that's an average of £56.74 a bottle, or £33.10 per month. Let's just go with whichever one sounds best. Now I know money is a tricky thing to talk about. For some people this is an obscene amount of money, and for others this is nothing. But I wanted to be transparent and show my whiskey journey, and also that to be a full-on whiskey enthusiast, like a hardcore nerd, you don't have to go too wild. Also, it's nice to be able to show that whatever comes in from the channel, be it YouTube to Jeff Whiskey Coasters, it's all going back in to try and make as good content, and so I can try be entertaining for you. I think calling this entertainment is a stretch. So currently I have a goal of no new bottles this year, and as you can tell, I'm a slow drinker. I've got a good backlog of bottles from the last 5-6 years I've been into whiskey, so I've got a long way to go till I start needing to buy whiskey. Also, with taking a 2-month break at the start of this year, there's not been any temptation to buy whiskey, so I think I can stay strong. We'll see. So a huge thank you to everyone in the Bottle Slap Club for your support, and everyone who has liked, shared, subscribed and just supporting this little whiskey dream. If you've enjoyed this video, slap a like. If you've hated it, give it a dislike, and all that's left to say is all the best and cheers to the next one. All jokes aside, Rob has done so much. So in all honesty, this video is pretty much complete